Hi, this is Lady Lex UK and this is a Dreams tutorial. Today we are having a look at leveling up your character with XP and level system. I've been asked could I do this, and I think what they want is something a little bit more complex than this, but I think we need to start at the basics and work our way up. So I'm not going to go into the complexities of skill trees and what have you, but here are the basics for actually creating some sort of system. Right, I've got here a little microchip which I've built already to allow me to artificially create some XP, but let's I'll show you that in a minute. Let's start making our microchip. So what we're going to do is we're going to use variables. So we go into the logic section, pick our variable. I want my variable to start at a minimum of 0. I wish it had defaulted at 0. It makes more sense to me that it would default at 0 rather than minus 1000, but hey, that's how it is. So here is our variable. If you have level linking in your game, you will need to have this persist in Dream and have duplicates of this variable in every level. See the tutorial on persistent variables if you're not sure about that. Okay, so I've created my variable, and I'm going to create another one. Just going to clone that, make another one. We're going to call this variable XP. So there we go, there's our variable XP, and we're going to call this variable level. Okay, so I've got a XP and a level variable. Now we need to do some calculations. Now in this microchip, I've just got a controller sensor linked up to a variable modifier that's looking for the XP variable, and it's going to add 1 every time I press the L1 button. Obviously you wouldn't have this in your game. You would have some other mechanism for giving your player XP, like combat, collecting items, that sort of thing. So this is just for debugging purposes, for testing purposes, for testing out our microchips, make sure they work. I've got this artificial microchip here. You might want to create something similar for your game so that you can test out your leveling system as well. So that's what that is. So we don't have to worry about that for now. Okay, so we've got XP and level. Let's put in a calculator. Now what I want to do is I want to find out if this XP is a division of 10. So every 10 XP that I get, I want to go up a level. So to do that, I use this particular calculator option, and I change this to say 10. So what this will do when I put this in, so I link the current value into A, and what it's going to do is it's going to divide this number by 10 and put the number out. Now if the number is 0, that means it is divisible by 10 exactly. So we'll put in another calculator and say if that result equals 0, then we're going to get our variable modifier. We're going to power on that. We're going to add to our level variable. Now I'm using the D-pad to select level variable, and I'm going to add 1 to that level variable. Now the only problem with this is because we are starting off at 0, this is automatically, as soon as I turn it on, going to go to 1. Look, there you go, because this is at 0. If you want your player to start at level 0 and then get to level 1, then what you'll need to do is add a little calculator in front of this lot. So here is our setup. So we're saying if this number equals is less than 1, i.e. is a 0, no, other way around, is greater than 0, then we're going to do the calculation. Otherwise we're not. So we're going to power on this calculator, and we're also going to power on this calculator only if the result is greater than 0. So we don't want it to do it if we've only got 0 XP. Right, so now when I turn it on, the XP goes up, look, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then our level goes up, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. There we go, so that's working. Right, so that's our leveling system simply. So this XP is just going to go up and up and up and up, and this level is going to go up and up and up and up. But so far, nothing happens. It doesn't actually do anything. So first of all, let's put in some display so we can see our levels. So I'm going to put in a couple of number displayers. I'm going to select them both so I can get the formatting the same on both, like that. And this one is going to display the XP, and this one is going to display the level. So that's our XP, and that's our level. And we'll probably best put in some text in as well. So we're going to turn that off, turn that off, turn that off. I wish it was defaulted to all be turned off, so I didn't have to keep doing this. Setting the format should be slightly different to this. There we go. So that needs to come down a bit. There we go. And we'll copy that and make that level. Let's see, what does that look like? Ooh, there we go. So we've got our XP and our level now, so that we can easily see it. So as I press my L1 button, you can see it going up. Now if you didn't want the XP to continually go up and up and up and up like this, you can add another variable modifier, and this time it's going to reset XP. So it'll reset it back to 0. So if we rewind now, go again, L1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's gone back to 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. So that way you can see how you're progressing on one thing or another. Right, let's have a look at what happens when you level up and how we use this. I'm going to use a selector to do this. So I'm going to pop a selector down. I'm going to max up our selection options, so it makes it a nice and long one. And I'm going to wire the current value of the level to the active port button at the bottom. Let's just rewind it. So it starts off at A. When it gets to level 1, it will go to B, and it will go all the way down to J, which is 9. Now I've decided I want 15 levels in my game, so I'm going to need 2 selectors. But this one is going to have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I need to get down to F. Okay. So what do we need to do now is determine which one is turned on when and how it's working. So this is going to go from 0 to 9. So let's put a calculator in. So when it's greater than 9, so when this number is greater than 9, then we want to turn this off and turn this on. So I'm going to use a keyframe to do that. So I'm going to open that up, turn that off, open that one up, turn that on, like that. Now this one is normally turned off at the start. And then we're going to wire that result to the power. So now as we go up through the levels, you can see it moving down that selector. So we're getting to 7, 7, 8, 9, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're now in A. Right, I haven't leveled up. I haven't linked up this. There we go. Sorry. There we go. Now that's not going to work because the number it's being passed is the wrong number. So we need another calculator. And we need to take away 10. And we wire that into the active port. So now we can see level 11 is B, that's correct. Now it's level 12C. 13, 14, 15, and now it doesn't matter how much XP you get, it's going to go up level, but this hasn't moved and there is no more extras. So we need to stamp it down and say the highest level that this can get to is going to be 15, like so. So it's not going to get any higher than 15. And let's go again. 1, 1, 2. It's going to take a while. But you can see how this would work. So the XP will still go up 1 to 10 all the time. But at this point, you could put a calculator in that says once it's hit 15, XP equals is set to 0. And you can't actually add any more to it if you wanted to. There we are into the 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There we go. So the XP is still spinning round, but that level is still at 15. So if I was to say once it's at output F, then we can put in another modifier. And we can say we're going to set it to be 0. Let's see what happens now. Whoops, I want that to be permanent. There we go. It doesn't matter how many times I press F1. Look, it's trying to, but it keeps resetting it back to 0. Like so. There we go. Right, so what do these do? Let's just reset it back. So this is the levels, and you wire in your microchip, your keyframes, whatever it is that you want each of these levels to actually do for your player. So let's pop down a puppet. I'm going to use keyframes. This is the nice easy way of doing it. So I've got a keyframe. I'm going to say when you hit level 1, you could run, and I'll set that so it's 0 normally, so you can't run normally. So that's what happens when you go to B. And I'm also going to have that at C as well, same speed. But I'm also going to do something else when we get to level 2. When we get to level 2, I'm going to put another keyframe in, and I'm going to scope into the head, and I'm going to make each head red. Okay, so now when we play the game, okay, I can't run, I can only walk around, so I get some XP. Here we go. Now I'm level 1, I can now run, and I hit level 2, and now I've got a red head. So that's how you would do it. You just wire into this selector what the level abilities are. You can change them with keyframes, so you can change the abilities of your puppet in here. So for example, faster turn speed, more acceleration, higher jump abilities, all of those sort of things. You just alter it how you want to alter it. You can also have changes to the puppet interface and the poses and everything, so you can have maybe a different sword swing or whatever you want for each of these levels, whatever abilities you need. That can be altered easily with a keyframe or a little microchip, depending on the complexity of what you want the player to do for each level. And that's basically it. That's the basis of making a leveling system. It looks a little complicated when you see it like this, but if you did it slowly with me, step by step, I'm sure it's a little bit easier to follow than if I just shown you this and gone, here it is, folks, just work that one out for yourself. I hope that was useful. I will be going over skill trees, which is a slightly different way of doing a leveling system, in which you give the player some points, and then the player has to then apportion those points to different skills. That's a slightly different type of leveling system to this one, but it is a little bit more complicated. So that will be coming a little bit later on, probably next week. So thanks for watching. I hope it was useful, and I'll catch you in your dreams.